to order. What we'll do is we'll start with introductions. Dave Pritchett, Chair of Committee, and then just kind of, since we are not sitting in a circle and all of your faces are probably in a different order, just introduce your name and who you are. So,
Tad Erickson, Alderman at Large.
Connie Hillman, City Finance Director.
Can hear you.
Oh, we're getting Kevin.
We have Kevin via phone. So go ahead, Kevin.
I'm here. I'm here in spirit anyway.
Chris Schubert, HR Director.
Agenda, maybe I can hear you. I can see the pictures of you guys now.
And Kevin, we can hear you.
Okay.
I'm going to hang up on the phone with you, okay?
Yeah.
keep going. Let's get everybody introduced so we can get going.
For Bergman, City Administrator.
David Chansky, Community Development Director.
Go with Weisenegger Engel Insurance.
Okay.
Kelly Mashi, Weisenegger Engel Insurance.
Kevin Stooning, Alderman at Large.
Oh.
Well,
Is that
everyone
everybody?
on there.
All right. So we have 5 items. Does anybody have anything to add to the agenda? All right. Our first item is approval of bills. Connie?
Nothing to note besides that we had a lot of payments to people that had leased parking spots. At the last council meeting, council authorized to return the funds if people had paid for the second quarter. So that'd be April and May. And so we did a lot of those payments on this council bills.
All right. Entertaining a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills, Stunick.
And a second?
Second.
By Stunick, second by Erickson. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. Is this roll call?
Yes, it should be.
All right.
Stunick,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Pritchett.
Yes. All right. That takes us to item number 2 is additional general liability policy. Finance Director Hillman.
Oops, I'm sorry, I slipped the wrong one. So at our last council meeting, Weisenegger Engel, our local insurance agent, presented the renewal for March 1st through February 28th, 2021. At that time, they said that there's additional coverage that the city could purchase if it so desires for about $35,600. And it would cover things like downstream liability for the hydro dam. The council did not act, as well as other things as well, I should point out. The council did not act on the additional coverage at the April 20th meeting because it wanted to have conversation with BPU. And so our insurance agent provided additional information as to why the city may desire to have the additional rider. It was noted on page 2 of the attachment to the agenda request. And I think that Kelly and Jim both pointed out that the hydro dam is excluded from liability coverage on the primary liability policy. So even though the policy BPU owns the hydro dam, it is in essence the city that owns it, and we would likely be named in a lawsuit as well. So some questions that we had when the packet went out was, what is meant by downstream liability for the dam? And it is truly liability for arising from the, let's say like a dike or a levee or something burst, and they would attribute it to the dam. The League of Minnesota Cities has 11 members that purchased the downstream liability for Class 1 or Class 2 dams. There hasn't been any losses to date. The City of Brainerd has not had a claim that was covered under the tort limit. However, there have been several cases in the recent years involving police shootings that have not been covered under that amount or that coverage, the statutory torts. And then I asked how many cities our size have purchased this additional policies. And Kelly informed me that there's about 61 cities that have the same population as Brainerd, between that 10,000 and 25,000 population. And a little less than half of those members purchased the excess liability coverage. So That was additional information that we didn't have when the packet went out that I wanted to share with you. At this time, staff is recommending that we do not purchase the additional policy for the March 2020 to February 2021 policy year, just because we have not budgeted for that $35,600. And maybe it's something that we could discuss again when we come for budgeting and budget for the next year renewal, if council so desires. With that, I'll see if Kelly and Jim have anything to add.
No, Connie, I think you did a great job explaining kind of where we're at. Kelly, do you have anything to add?
No, I know you did an awesome job, Connie.
All right. Tad or Kevin, do either of you have questions?
No, I'm good.
All right. Entertain a motion. Oh, so okay, so I'd entertain a motion not to purchase the additional rider for March 1st, 2020 through February 28th, 2021. I have one quick question. Should we put that in the motion to discuss the possibility in the 2021 budget, or is that just something staff will do because they'll be directed to do it?
It is up to council. I guess it doesn't make a difference to me. I can bring it up at time of the budget. If it is something that you would like to see, it's kind of nice to know ahead of time so we can put that in the budget, since it is kind of an expensive cost.
I would say let's put it in the motion and we've got to document it.
Okay, so is that a motion then?
I think Tad made the motion, but he can add to it.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion. We do not move forward with the purchase of the additional rider, consistent with staff's recommendation for the March 1st, 2020 through February 28, 2021 insurance policy. Since the additional rider is not budgeted for in the 2020 budget, but to include it on the budget or in the agenda for the 2021 budget.
And I'll second that motion.
Include the discussion or include the insurance?
The discussion.
Okay, just wanted to be clear on that. All right, so we have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion?
Second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, goes to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Wait, it's all got to be roll call. Sorry.
All right, Stunek,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Pritchett.
Yes, and so it passes. All right. Item 3 is building inspector promotion, community development director Chansky.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So with the promotion of Darren DeSeth from building inspector to building official, the building inspector position did become vacant. Per council's direction, we did post the position and conduct the interview and hiring process. We had 9 applicants for the position, of which we interviewed 5 who were qualified for it. At this time, we are recommending the promotion of Jason Stockinger from housing inspector to building inspector. Jason's been with the city for just over 4 years. With this promotion, we do want to point out that what we are recommending for him is step 6. The reason we are recommending step 6 is because per city's policy, in a promotion, anytime an employee is promoted, they go to the closest step to where they are in their current position without going backwards. For Jason, that is step 6 on the building inspector wage grid. Currently, as the housing inspector, he's making $27.36 per hour. The closest thing on the building inspector would be step 6, which is $27.98 per hour. So it's about a 62 cents an hour increase. One thing I do want to point out, as I put in the memo, is by going to step 6, he goes to the top step in the pay for performance before the 2 merit steps. So for him to advance to step 7, he has to achieve 2 achieves expectations and 1 exceeds expectations minimum in his annual performance evaluations given in a 3-year cycle. So if he is promoted to this position, he would not be eligible to receive step 7 until 2023. Until then, he would only receive any annual COLA that is negotiated with the IBEW union. In his position right now as housing inspector, he's in a very similar situation. He's reached the top, and so he is not eligible for longevity. He is still under the legacy. He would not be eligible for longevity for 4 more years. So either way he goes, he's looking at 3 to 4 years of only having that COLA increase. Also with this, at this time, it would create a vacancy in the housing inspector position. However, myself and building official DSEF, we believe that what we would like to do now is take this opportunity to see how the next few months go with just the 2 inspectors, not fill the housing inspector position right away. Want to come back together in July, assess how things are going. Do they feel like they can stay on top of things? If they're not overloaded. And then in that time, staff will make a recommendation to the council about the future of the housing inspector position. So for just tonight, we are looking for a motion to approve the promotion of Jason Stockinger to building inspector at step 6 of the building inspector wage schedule.
Okay, any questions? Well, got a motion by Stunek,
Erickson, second.
second by Erickson. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, goes to a vote by roll call.
Connie, you're muted.
Connie.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Stunek? Erickson?
Yes.
Pritchett?
Yes. And that passes.
We have a caller that has joined us. If the caller would like to introduce themselves.
It's Teresa Berg from the Dispatch.
Hi, Teresa.
Welcome.
Hi.
All right. So we welcomed our dispatch reporter, and we'll move on to item number 4, which is to possibly select a broker to assist with the 2021 health insurance proposals. This will be HR Director Schubert.
Good evening. So as we continue to get our health insurance premium renewals, our rates continue to rise. So this last year, we had a little over a 12% increase. Over the last 5 years, it's been almost 50% increase. And that includes 1 year where we actually had a 0% increase, to tell you some of the rates that we've gotten. So when we looked at this information, it was recommended that maybe we need to do a market check on our health insurance plans and our rates. And so a group of us got together, a core group of the city BPU and HRA management team, and we wanted to look at this market check. And as we started looking at some of our options, we looked at what a couple other entities have done. I specifically contacted the League of Minnesota Cities as well as the City of Marshall, since they had done a similar proposal. When I discussed this with them, they told me that their staff did not actually conduct the RFP process themselves. They utilized a broker to do this. And part of the rationale is because health insurance can be so complex, and it's very hard to compare health insurance plans. They are truly apples to oranges. When you look at the different providers, our unions are asking about looking at them. There's PEEP, there's different things. And staff just felt that it would be very hard for us to analyze the information, make a good recommendation to you, and try to figure this out. So we prepared a request for proposals for brokers to assist us. We sent it to 4 brokers. 3 of them were recommended from John Oakes up from Integrity. They help us with our ancillary benefits. He knew these brokers had worked with other cities recently to do this type of process, as well as our current broker, RG or Strong Insurance. All 4 submitted proposals back to us. When we looked at those, our management team reviewed the proposal and unanimously recommended to retain North Risk Partners to assist us in this process. Although they are not the lowest bid, the team felt that North Risk Partners proposal was the most comprehensive. It appears that they have the most experience performing this type of review, and their fees were one of the lowest cost submitted. And also, they have a local office in Brainerd, so we thought that was something we should appreciate as well. North Risk Partners did include a second option. Not only did they ask or submit for doing this one-time project for us, but they have asked to become our agent of record for year-round services going forward. At this time, we're not interested in the year-round information. We only want to do our proposal for finding our market check for 2021, see how this goes. And if we decide we need a full-time broker, we bring that through the budget process for 2021. One thing I would like to mention is maybe to clarify a little bit what RG or Strong Insurance does for us. Right now, they primarily just help us with open enrollment. They come to our meetings, they help employees with questions about health insurance or if they have a problem. They have not really ever helped us with a full review like this before. And when I talk to them, and you can see from the proposal, they really haven't done that for any public sector entity. So that's why we thought, you know what, maybe the North Risk Partners would be a better proposal for us as well, based on that experience. We would like to continue using them until the end of 2020, and we'll see what happens from there.
All right.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve staff to retain North Risk Partners as our broker to assist with the 2021 health insurance RFP for $6,000. This would be from general unallocated professional services and to be split by the city BPU rather, and the HRA based on the number of full-time equivalents.
Second.
We have a motion by Erickson, a second by Stunek. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, goes to a vote.
Stunek,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Pritchett.
Yes. And that passes. All right, that takes us to item number 5, which is the Minnesota State Investment Fund's one-time exception. Finance Director Hillman.
Well, it's kind of a one-time exception, take two. In 2018, the council authorized us to use the one-time exception of the state MIF funds. We retained about 80%, and we had to return about 20% back to the state. We had about $217,000 in our state MIF funds at that time. So we sent back about $43,000 and we retained $174,000. In 2019, the legislature renewed the opportunity for local governments to utilize the one-time exception. And it was brought to we have until June 1st to make a decision. We brought this to council in August of 2019 and was directed to bring it back to council in the spring of 2020. So here we are. Even though we took advantage of it in 2017, we are allowed to take advantage of it again. We have about $6,600 that we've received in additional repayments since we did the one-time exception in early 2018. So if we do the 20/80 split again, the city would be able to retain about $5,300 and would have to send back about $1,300 to the state. The only loan that's outstanding currently is the loan that the city used to purchase industrial lots. So I really don't think we'll have additional funding that we will be able to take advantage of in the future. When the council decided to take advantage of it, and that $173,000, we've used about $40,000 of it for the Riverfront Plaza study. So there's about $133,000 of that we haven't spent already on local economic development initiatives. Staff would recommend that we take advantage of this one-time exception again, as there's many different things we can use the funds for, and since it's such a small amount, one opportunity might be able to help businesses retain with COVID-19 expenditures and what they need when we get back online. So staff is recommending that we take advantage of it, and we would retain about $5,300 and send about $1,300 back to the state.
Okay. Any questions?
Just a question. Is there any parameters on how we spend the money?
No, it can be used for however we want to. We can use it for purchasing of equipment. We can use it for salaries. We can use it for whatever we would like. I would assume that the council would want to put the same stipulations on it as we did the first time, that it would be used for city economic initiatives. And we could just add it to the funds that we already have. But again, that's a council decision and a very good point that I failed to mention.
I'm ready for a motion.
All right, go ahead.
I would make a motion to do the one-time exception with the Minnesota State Investment Funds and the money to be used for economic development. Is that what you're looking for, Connie?
However, the city council wants to spend it. Sure, that'd be great.
Motion.
Erickson, second.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, goes to a vote by roll call.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, go
I
ahead.
just wanted to say I love that idea. If there's a way we can combine that with existing funds and use it as some sort of a package for some economic relief for small businesses hurt by the Corona crisis here, that'd be awesome.
All right.
Thanks for that.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else? All right, goes to a vote. That's roll call.
Stunek,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes, and that passes. All right, so it is 7:16 and our committee meeting is now closed. All right. So well, yeah, I was talking to Connie. We'll all have to sneak in when all this whole COVID-19 thing is over and sign about a bajillion paper. So
Do you need a motion to adjourn?
yeah, why do we do
Before
that?
you adjourn, can I just mention one thing? I wanted to note for Alderman Stunek, I did find my black glasses.
Thank you very much. We get Tad on board, we'll be good.
All right. So we have
And,
That.
motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
I'll see you
Erickson.
shortly.
Motion second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, goes to a vote.
Stunek,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Pritchett.
Yes. All right. So we are adjourned. All right. Connie and Chris.